Let's bring in conservative strategist Laryssa Waler. Laryssa, thanks so much for joining us on CTV News Channel.
Thanks for having me.
So according to the latest polls, the Liberals are in the lead. How could you see the Conservatives close the gap during this final week of the election campaign?
Yeah, so I think when we look at polls, again, we have to look at polling trends, not just one poll or one sort of brand of polls. So there's other polls like the Main Street poll that has Conservatives and Liberals neck and neck. And I think we have to look at trends. Trending wise, Conservatives are closing the gap. And I think that we have to keep talking about the change narrative and talking about not just fighting Donald Trump right now, but what does the 5-10-year outlook look like? How do we get out of this and build a resilient economy? And talk about the future and talk about affordability and housing and all the things that Canadians have been rightly worried about for a very long time now.
In the final week, what can voters expect to see? What should we make of where the leaders make their appearances in the closing days? How important, how strategic is it?
Yeah, so there's that old saying, fish where the fish are. So for the next week, we're going to be seeing the leaders in regions that they think they can win, but are tight so that they are getting out the vote. It's called the GOTV effort. Every party does this. The Conservatives do it very well. You want to make sure that the people who told you during the election that they're going to vote for you actually show up and vote.
And we've seen a lot of people vote already. What do you make of the big numbers that we've seen in the advanced polls with 1 week left to go?
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I think it shows that Canadians are really engaged and really care about the future of their country. But who voted is interesting because typically, if we saw a high turnout on campuses, we know that that's good for the NDP. But in this election, a lot of those people are voting Conservatives. Typically, if boomers vote, that's usually good for the Conservatives. But this election, we know that they're voting for the Liberals. So this election sort of is redrawing the rules of who's voting for who and what everything means. And what that really means is that every party just has to really make sure that every single person over the last month that's told them that they're going to vote actually shows up to vote for them.
All right, still 1 week to go. Lots to talk about, still lots of ground to cover. Conservative strategist Laryssa Waler, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.